Hi, I'm Franz Anthony Israel. My ID number is s1112388, and I'll be doing assessment 1 for BIT354, Network Vulnerability and Penetration. The task is to install a computer system and research how to harden the system. So at least we will implement 8 hardening techniques to, to be applied in the system. So as you can see, I already installed my choice of operating system is Windows Server 2016. You can see I already installed one. Then here, this is the system, so I'm gonna log in. So this is my domain name and this is my account, the administrator account. We just log in. Sorry. After installing the operating system, it is best to harden the system before connecting to the computer to the network to avoid threats and malware or attacks. So first, we're gonna update the patches of the Windows. So we'll go to Control Panel. Now, we can directly go to Settings. So down here, you can see there's an update and security. So we'll go here, and as you can see, Windows Update, and now it's installing. Before there was just a list here, and there's a tab here that you're gonna install. So now it is installing all the patches, so that our system gonna perform at its best. So the next hardening tip is the applying or installing antivirus. So in Windows, there's a built-in antivirus. So we got the Windows Defender, and the Windows Defender is used to protect against computer viruses and malicious software. So we're gonna update the system. So we're gonna set up. So here, real-time protection, it must be turned on always so that it will easily find and stop malware installing while you're working on your computer. Then we're gonna also turn on the cloud-based protection. It is a real-time protection that sends Microsoft security, like send info to Microsoft about if you you encounter a file, it's gonna send there to Microsoft so that they will also be updated about the malicious attack. And another is I'm gonna turn on the automatic sampling submission. Example, if you have a file that is not that the Windows Defender does not detect, or you're suspicious about the file, it automatically sends a sample to Microsoft and they will evaluate if the file is a malware or any any sort of virus. So any exclusion also, we just we only add exclusion if you have a file that doesn't need to be bothered by the virus, or you have a program that is not is like the Windows Defender gonna stop the program, so you just add the here file or extension so that it will not bother by the Windows Defender. So here, go back. settings. So we'll just turn it on, and as you can see, it's still updating. uh, Windows update. So the next step is to set a user's uh the next step is we're gonna set up the firewall. Go to control panel. So we're gonna set up the firewall. We go to Windows Firewall. So here, as you can see, it's been turned on. We're gonna check. So here, you can customize the settings. So in the domain network, I turn on the firewall. If I be in the private network, I'm gonna turn on the firewall. And in the public network, I also have turned on the firewall. So I could actually turn off or turn on. I could turn on, and if it's if there's a you could block it, or you can notify to block the app. You have a choice. So I just turn on so that it will notify me any app. So this one, all as recommended, is gonna be turned on. So it will protect you from public, private, and domain networks. The next one is I'm gonna add users. So we'll go to server manager. So we'll go to tools and Active Directory users and computers. So you can see, as you can see, this is my domain. So as you can see, there's our OU, our organization unit. So I already created one. This is the example. If I am in the company, I created the production department, and here I added a computer for the production, and the other one is for the user. Now I could also add another department, so I'll just add new group, new organization unit, new OU. So I'll put there accounting department. So this will be in accounting section department. So I'm just gonna add a computer in new computer. This will be account computer 1. So press OK. So it will appear here that there's a computer on accounting, and we can also add a user, right? I'll just delete it again. In accounting, I'll create new OU. So computer. And under accounting, I'll also new OU, that will be for the user. So here I can add a computer in this department. So I add computer counting computer count comp 1. I just name it count 1. Then also you add a user in the counting division. So new user. So I'll just put my name France Israel. So I'll just put the login name as France, and I'll create a password for him. Just so I'm gonna take his user must change the password for the next log on. This will activate once he gonna log in. He can change because this is a default password. I just give it to him so that he will have his own password he can change once he log in. He can create a new password. So next, finish. So here I already added a user in accounting OU, accounting department. I get one user and one computer. And also in the production, I also created a computer and a user. So this is how you add the users and computers. So next, I'm gonna create a group policy. So we'll go to Tools, Group Policy Management. So here, as you can see, this is our domain is here. This one. So here in the accounting, we're gonna add a policy for the user. So create. I'll just use accounting policy and press OK. So here there's account. We create an accounting policy, user policy. So to edit, we just right click and go edit. Then we can select the policies that will be applied on the user, on particular user. So example, we'll go to the desktop. Here there are options that are the policies to be applied on that particular user. So example, we prohibit the user to sample delete, remove the icon of recycle bin in the desktop. So we just click edit and as you could see, it's not configured. So we'll just disable here so that he cannot change, I mean he cannot delete the recycle bin on the desktop. Then click apply, then okay. So here, as you can see, there's a lot of policies here. You could disable and enable it. So that's one of the policy for the users. So we'll just go back to our group policy management. So here, as you can see, the user policy is applied, and we'll just right click and enforce it. And the policy that has been uh, applied is already enforced. Same thing as in computer. You can also create the policy. So the same thing, like create comp policy. So just right click, edit. So we go to computer, software settings, yeah, and the same thing. So that is how you to create the group management. You have to be able to, you have to enforce it so that it will be applied on that particular computer. As you can see, it's applied in computer under accounting and user under accounting. I can also do it here in computer under production, and I can also create group policy here in the computer for production and user. Example, great. Right. This is gonna change this one. Prod comp and also user. Same thing. Prod use. Well, let's see. You just, all you have to do is just edit so that you can be update the configuration here, and just link. That's it. The next step is to set up the password policy. So we'll just go to local security policy. Sometime here. So here we can go to account policy so that we could change or check the password policy. So here in the password policy, it says that you can enforce the password history by 24 hours. 24 domain controllers or 0 standalone. So you can enforce the password history within that number from 0 to 24. And next is the maximum password age. Like, you have to change the password after 42 days. You could set it to a month, or by every quarter or half a year. And the minimum password age is the like you have a 1 day to change. Password can be changed after a day, so you could actually set it to minimum so that you can directly, once the password expires, you can change it directly. You can set it to 0 so that once the password expires, you can create a new password again, a new password directly. So next is the minimum password length. So as a default, it must be like 7. The number of at least characters is 7 to 8, or more than 7. So actually we can change the number here. We set to the preferred number of characters based on your organization policy. And another thing is password must meet the complexity requirement. You can enable this where you have to use uh, small and caps lock characters, numeric and non-numeric like hash, ampersand, dollar sign. So if once you enable here, if you were gonna create a password, you're gonna combine small caps, numbers, and must have also a non-numeric like dollar sign, asterisk, and so here in store password using reversible encryption. It is advisable not to enable this one because if you're gonna store it, it is prone to attacks. Like the hackers might uh, know your password, or they gonna attack where the password has been stored by brute force, so they can access your system. So the next one is we're gonna secure uh, smart screen. Smart we're gonna secure the smart screen. Smart screen. We go to yeah control panel. Here, the smart screen is turned off, so we're gonna turn on the smart screen. The Windows smart screen can help keep the PC safer by warning before running an unrecognized app, the file download in the internet. So every time there's an app or uh, there's an app or a file you download that you're not sure, and the or there's a file that is downloading and you're not you are not you didn't recognize it, so or there's a application running and you didn't know that it's running, and it will pop up a warning sign. So we'll just turn it on. So smart screen is already on. It will it will help you to be aware that there's a unrecognized app or files that has been downloaded in the internet, so you will be notified by it, so you can help protect from malicious attack. So the next one is one of the best way to let your computer to harden is to harden your system is to disable some of the services, because some of the services are not needed and it is prone to it is open to the network, and some services are not actually needed by your system. So you could manage the services. We'll go to tools and services. The best thing is to disable some of the services that are not actually needed while you're doing in your system, and only enable those you are actually needed. But to before you disable, you have to research first if it can affect your system. If you're disabling it, it can affect some of the applications in your system if you're disabling it. So you have to research from the internet first before disabling the services. So here, as you can see, properties. See, you can actually run it automatically or disable or manually. So some of these services are not they're not they're not needed while you're doing what your systems need. So one of the warnings here is that once you update your Windows or the apps, you have to check the services again, because the patches will by default the services will be updated and they're gonna go back to default where they're previously enabled, and you have to disable again. So I think that's the rest, and it will help harden the system before connected to the server, to the network, I mean. So and that's it. uh, so your system is ready to be connected to the network. Thank you.